Hello and welcome to another video of mine. In today's video, it is Friday, so lo and behold, that is my podcast day. So for those of you who are new to the channel, I try and put out a podcast once a week. Not everyone has the time to watch videos. Some people like to listen to things on the move, and each topic I put out is kind of my thoughts and feelings on the market. Sometimes I've been thinking really hard about issues that have happened. Sometimes I just like to sit down and think about how the world works and try and dissect it in a way where I can put it together that makes sense for other people. So yeah, today's episode is going to be very contentious. It's going to divide people down the middle, I feel, and I think it's going to depend on whether you're a socialist or a capitalist. The title of today's video is, should professional dealers be involved with the peer-to-peer market? Now, it is a double-edged sword on my behalf. From a subjective point of view, I've got my feelings, and also from an objective point of view, I've got my feelings. So I'm more interested in debate on this topic, not whether people think I'm right or wrong. I want to hear all points of view. So essentially what happened was there's been an influx of professional brick and mortar dealers that have kind of come into the groups of late. I personally think it's a bad thing. And you could say, yeah, but Sean, you make a living doing this, and why would you want the competition? But it goes beyond that. I don't really have a problem competing with people. It is a community, and usually when there's more market stalls, more people turn up. There's nothing wrong with the hustle and bustle and developing an ecosystem that benefits everyone. Where the contentious issue comes in for me is this. These professional dealers can buy at very good rates. So they're buying from the public. Like, it wouldn't shock me if some of them are paying 10% under. 5% under is probably where it's at. Do I know what they're paying? No. Could I find out? Very easily. I just had to phone them up, act as a decoy and say, well, I've got XYZ, have a basket of goods and say, what are you paying for this? You could do it over a sovereign, you could do it over a Krugerrand, you could do it with scrap, you could also do it with international gold coins. That way you kind of work out and you plot the landscape of what these dealers are paying. Now, I recently had a conversation with a professional dealer, and I've probably come across as a bit pointy and a bit brash. That wasn't my intention. I said to him, I was like, if you're constantly throwing out deals where it's like a percentage point over spot, you are going to kill these groups. And you're probably thinking, Sean, that's crazy. Why do you think that? Like, that's not rational. But you need to see the bigger picture. You need to see beyond your own nose to see what will happen if that is the case. Now, if one dealer was doing it, that's fine. That's not really a problem. That's his prerogative. The market forces would usually make him price slightly higher because there's enough give to do it. But when you've got 3 or 4 brick and mortar dealers who are constantly buying at the rates they're buying at, it becomes a price war, and it becomes counterproductive for the whole community. And when the community breaks down, people leave the community. People like the peer-to-peer markets because of the fact that it is a community, but also they can get better prices than by selling to dealers or selling on eBay or other platforms, etc., etc. If you have 3 or 4 brick and mortar dealers who are running the price down, and there's pretty much more supply than there is demand, the problem is, what happens when the everyday man wants to sell? You will instantly buy from a dealer over someone who hasn't sold because of, I call it social capital. I'm not sure if that's the correct term, but I have it where I can get slightly better prices than other people because I'm a position of trust. People trust that I will do as I say. What happens when you're going up against a dealer and they're selling at spot or spot plus one, and that becomes the new norm? The bottom line is, you're not going to be able to sell for spot or spot plus one. You're going to have to sell for a few percentage points under spot due to that social capital. And that is a real issue. The groups are built upon respect. They were built with the common man, not just the common man, they were built for everyone to be involved. But when you get such large forces, such as these professional dealers come in, it kind of breaks down the fabric of what the groups were made for. The only people who win will be these dealers. Now, I could open up a shop and pay 5% under and do exactly the same thing. This isn't a case of I'm worried of going out of business. You know, I make a majority of my money from specialty coins. That's how I can trade and keep a consistently higher margin than most people. I work hard for that. I know what I'm doing. I'm going against people who are paying not next to nothing, but they're paying way under the going rate, and they can sell for way under the going rate. That potentially could put me out of business in terms of certain parts of my business. So could I trade sovereigns like the ones in front of me? It wouldn't be worth my time. It just wouldn't be worth my time. I'd have to go and find other niche coins, you know, which is fine by me. I've got the supply network to do it. I've got no problem as an entrepreneur, someone coming in and doing it better than me. That's not what I'm worried about. The thing I'm worried about is when these prices get run down so much and people just lose interest. It is absolutely fantastic if you can buy at spot and you're selling to a dealer. But what I see is not monopolies, duopolies potentially, maybe oligopolies. These are anti-competitive, and it will destroy the very fabric of the community. Because if you're constantly buying, like I said, at those prices, and then you're selling, you have no choice. You might as well sell back to the dealer. The only people who will enrich themselves are the brick and mortar dealers, and that's something I'm very much against. I did not help build part of this community to have a very small group of people use it as a mechanism to enrich themselves. That's not why I got involved. You know, that goes against everything I stand for. So I'm a social capitalist. I believe that profit is a good thing, but the purpose of profit is to put it back into your community, whether that be online or whether that be your local community. I think that's important. I think that's very important. And I do not see that with the brick and mortar dealers. So I did say to this dealer, I said, you're going to kill it. It's a very delicate balance. Was I wrong to say that? You tell me. You know, I'm perfectly fine. If I get put out of business because someone's better than me, fine. You know, I'm 30 years old. I've got a dual master's degree. I've moved £500,000 worth of product within the last maybe 4 years. I can do it. You know, I can get another job. I can build another business. I'm in the process of building another business. You know, I started a second business, which it's kind of fallen by the wayside, which I will get into at some point, but it's a topic for another video. But my fundamental issue is that I don't feel that these brick and mortar dealers care about this community. If they cared, they'd start their own groups and they would enrich their community. I see it as a profit-making exercise for them where they can corner the market. And if I wasn't a dealer, I'd say the same thing. You know, tell me your views on it. Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think, hey, Sean, you can't have your cake and eat it? You know, you've got this group. You make good money from it, which I do. You know, when months are good, months are very good. But the months are very good due to having specialist coins. You can't have it both ways. You can't say you're up for free enterprise and then when someone who's bigger and better than you are come and take profit from your back pocket, you can't just kick them out. You know, that's not right. The difference is, will there be a community left if this is allowed to continue? That's the question. It's not a case of I'm worried about other dealers. I can only do me. I can be the best of me. I'm worried about if it goes to the extreme end, if there will be a community left afterwards. It's great if people get cheap stock on the buy side. It will kill the sell side. And if you don't have both ends of the spectrum, there won't be groups. People will just leave. They will just decide to sell to dealers, and it kind of kills a certain dynamic. And I'm not prepared as an individual who helped build part of the community, and I'm certainly not prepared as a dealer to have that. I have got conflicting terms. So the businessman in me is kind of like, it's a pain in the ass. But the socialist in me is like, this is fundamentally and morally wrong if we allow a small subsection of people to absolutely rinse the system to make as much profit as possible. I believe that's wrong. Tell me your thoughts. Am I wrong? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think it's a case of, wow, that's business? Or do you think it's a case it goes beyond that and we need to look after everyone? So I hope you've enjoyed my podcast. Maybe I have been slightly repetitive, but I really want to get other people's views about this, because there may come a situation in the future where either we have to cap certain things or we have to change the way that we're doing things. Because I would still be in the community if I wasn't trading. Would these people be there? That's the question. So I hope you've enjoyed today's podcast. I hope it's been thoughtful, and I would love to hear your opinion. Take care, guys. Bye.